this is the Beesotted interview in the Port Kevin's here.
Exactly right.
Lovely and warm. We've got Mark Warburton, we've got Dave Weir. Talking to Beesotted here, myself, Billy Grant, Dave Lane here as well. Thanks very much for taking time out to chat to us.
Pleasure.
Dave?
No problem.
It's been a bit of a funny week, hasn't it?
Challenging, I think. Yeah, character building week, but it's a lot of clarity came from the statement, I think. A lot of questions were answered for players, for staff and supporters alike, so hopefully we can now focus on the most important part, which is the remaining 15 games.
I mean, I've got to say this as well, and I'm not talking out of turn, but fans are absolutely, obviously devastated that you're not going to be here past the end of the season. And, you know, obviously the work that you put in, the work that your team put in, you, David, you know, Frank and everybody like that, they're absolutely devastated, because obviously this has been pretty much one of the best seasons, and the season before that we've had in a very long time. And we just want to put our heartfelt thanks to you guys. I mean, it sounds like a bit, because obviously you're here for a while, but at the end of the day, we're just saying that for you guys, you know, we really do, the fans are really gutted, and you've obviously heard it on the terrace and stuff like that, but it must be also quite strange for you.
Yeah, I think ultimately that's the biggest disappointment, that, you know, the season has gone so well so far, and, you know, to have this happen when it's happened, ultimately it's a disappointment for us as a staff and for the players, that, you know, people are talking about things other than how well the team have played this season, and that's going to be the story. But it has been for the past week, and we just want to get back talking about the football and talking about how good the lads have done, how good the team have played, and how, you know, the Brentford fans are obviously proud of that, and, you know, to be talking about other things, that's the biggest shame of the whole thing for me, really.
How easy or difficult is it to pick people up after what's happened this week? I mean, there's talk about this, you know, the players being angry, and I think from fans' perspective, there's, you know, confusion and kind of, yeah, we were kind of just, we didn't want the bubble ever to burst. You know, we were just happy, we were delighted with the season as it was going. But, you know, I guess the statements laid out how it's going to be for the next 3 or 4 months, but how, as your roles are going to be here for the you know, short term, how do you pick the team up? How do you get them to focus on?
David Weir's at a top level career. He'll tell you that it's about being professional. The players are professionals, and they've got responsibility to themselves, their teammates, the staff, and the families, and most important, supporters. You know, so I'm amazed. Football's a game of opinions, you know, in the pub and people talking. That's the beauty of the game. Everyone's got different ideas about the game. But these guys are professional, and they've shown their quality and their character, and they want to drive forward. They want to play as high as they can. They want to earn what they can. They're working men. They want to earn what they can, support their families, and give it their best shot. They've earned a fantastic opportunity. Where they are in the league now, they've earned that. No one else. Not you, not me. They've done that with a fantastic work ethic and quality. It'd be a travesty to waste it now. So they're hungry and they're focused, and the fans will be reassured, and the fans, the backing they give us and the players is outstanding, and we've got to repay that faith.
It's interesting because we harken back to just over a year ago when Uwe left his job, and you were the sporting director at the time, and your job was actually to go out at the time to find the next manager. So it was like, right, Mark, let's find the next manager. And there's all these names being flown around in the old supporter circles, Gerbishley, Holloway, so on and so forth. But it must be quite weird for you having to line up the next manager when in your head you're thinking, actually, I want to do that job. Yeah,
it is very much so. And I applied for it right at the start before Uwe, as you know, as documented. It was hard getting the train back from Carlisle. I had 27 names, some big hitters wanted the job. You know.
Well, I've got to ask you, throw a few our way.
No, there's a few. That's some big hitters who wanted. He realised, yeah, wow, it's a big job, and football jobs are hard to come by. David and I both know that. But as I say, Matthew showed a lot of trust and bravery in that decision to give me the job, and it's a big risk. So for always be forever thankful for that. But I'm sure the supporters at the start must have thought, what is going on? I'm sure they did. But over that course, the team were in good shape. We were lucky. If you remember, Jonathan Douglas scored that 89th minute goal.
Well, I was going to talk about against
Oldham. And
right.
Things happen for a reason. Well, they all said to me, things happen for a reason, but it did. Johnny Douglas scored a great goal. We win a game 1-0. We win the next 4 games now, 5 out of 5. David and I are working with the players, and It worked off really well, and we had a great start, and we pushed on from there. And the rest you know about.
But didn't you feel the pressure? I mean, I'm just saying, didn't you feel the pressure? Because all of a sudden Uwe's come in. It was, what was he? His run was seven wins and a draw, I think it was. And he's come and he's gone. All of a sudden it's like, right. And you can see even the fans. Some of the fans are thinking, oh no, we need to get a big name because we need to carry this run on. So didn't you feel the pressure?
No, yes and no, but you want to do the job. You want to do the job and give yourself a chance. And we'll jump forward to the statement, the philosophy side of it. But you've got to give yourself the best chance. David and I have got to have the best chance to be successful in the job. So yeah, there's pressure, but we know what we wanted to do, how we wanted to play, and we knew the players really well. Don't forget, I knew the likes of Adam Forshaw, Jake Bidwell, but David had worked with them also at Everton. So there's lots of different links and connections. So we just want to give ourselves the best chance for the job.
But again, and it's interesting again because you talk about Bidwell, Saville, these players that you picked up as sporting director. Didn't you want to stay in that role?
No. No, didn't want to stay in that role because my office was down there. Before we did Frank's Plush one at this end, I was in the cheap port cabin at that end, and it used to kill me every day to come into work early in the morning and then look at the pitches being prepared and all that going on out there. That's the best bit of the job. I'm sure David would agree with it. The best bit of the job out there. The easiest bit of the job is out there. The hardest bit is off the pitch. Be it dealing with players or problems or agents or it's all of that peripheral stuff which causes you the most grief. The best, most enjoyable, without a doubt, is out there.
Okay, so we'll ask, isn't it fair to say though that if you were still sporting director, then maybe you might have fitted into Matthew's sort of new model that he's looking at more than at the moment now? Is because at the moment, because your manager is a different situation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Coming from? Yeah, maybe David might have his opinion from his side. I think it will be similar in terms of you got to follow your passion, what you enjoy doing, and what you really think you can, where you can make a difference.
So your passion, your day-to-day involvement with the players, being out there on the training pitch, preparing for the game, you picking the team. That's what you're.
If you ask David now, do you want to go and be a sporting director and deal with the agents and sign the players and travel around the world and get on the flights and do what Frank's just done, etc.? I'm not sure you want to do that, David.
No, it's a really difficult job. To do that, and being a manager is a difficult job as well. But the pleasure you get from a result on Saturday afternoon, that's the best part. That's why, as a player, as a coach, that's what you want. But when you're the manager, whatever you say, it's your team, it's your responsibility, and everyone else plays a part. But the manager ultimately is responsible, and he's the one that loses his job, or he's the one that takes the praise, and that goes with the territory. And you've got to be a brave guy to go and do that. And I think what's fortunate for us is we've got similar ideas, and we want to win, but we want to win in a certain way, and that's why it's been such a great experience, because the football has been great for us to be involved in and watch as well. You're in it, but you're also watching it and saying, really enjoying that, really enjoying the way that the football is, and I'd pay to watch that. I'd love to watch that myself. So to be involved in facilitating that and being a part of that's been great for me. We're kind of going off the subject.
This week just gone must have given you a completely different side of the managerial experience, because since you took control of Brentford Football Club as a manager, it's been an amazing journey, isn't it? It's been.
I hope Dave will back me up on this. I'm not into this number one elite thing. It's a team. It's always about the team. That's how we work. Our office here, Dave and myself, with Kevin and Royce, Simon Royce. It's about the team together. Without doubt, I love the fact that we can sit there and you have the opportunity. I think you've got to embrace responsibility. You've got to relish it. If you feel weighed down by it, then you're in the wrong job. And we're really fortunate here to have these opportunities. I'm sure every man, every pub and every supporter wants to do fantasy football and picking it. But as David said, it's nice when you can bring in players like Pritchard, Terrell, Jake Bidwell, Forshaw, Forrester, Saville, these type of players, Judgy, and combine it with the senior pros, Tony Craigs and Dougies, etc. It's great to have that opportunity and then try things out there in a week, doing what you enjoy doing, and then watch it impact to Saturday. That's the best feeling in the world. So, as I say, there's responsibility. You get a lot of negative stuff when you have a couple of bad. Look at, we've lost 2 games now. Some of the questions in media day are, probing to say the least. We've lost 2 games. One guy just turned around and said that in the outside top 6 now must be deemed as a failure. Wow, but it tells you how football fans are and what you have to recognise and appreciate and deal with.
I mean, you mentioned just briefly about the difference of philosophy between obviously yourself and Matthew Benham. I mean, could you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think first thing is honesty is key. David and I and Frank and I will always give honest opinion, and so will Matthew and the board. So that's a good thing about relationships. They're forthright and you can speak your mind. And I think, as Matthew's statement said, they prefer a European model, more of a European model. With this sport director, but more of a head coach as opposed to manager, assistant manager. And that's the model they prefer. And the recruitment strategy, whilst using traditional scouting methods, we have great emphasis on mathematical modelling, stats, etc., data. And that's it. And you saw in the statement that the manager, the coach, will not have the absolute veto. And we just think, David has his own opinion, we just think that there's certain areas of responsibility which are important, because whatever you mentioned about being number one or coach or whatever it may be, you've got to give yourself every chance of success. You've got to, if your job's a bricklayer and your job is to go and build a big wall, a 6-foot wall, and you haven't got enough bricks or you haven't got the tools, you're going to fail in your job. And we've got to make sure here that we're comfortable. We could sit here and nod our heads and go, yeah, that's great, no problem. And December time, it's not working, we're frustrated, look back and go, I wish you'd been honest. Back in February, March, I wish we'd really spoke our mind. And we're not like that. We will, rightly or wrongly, we will speak our mind. And you'd rather be honest now for the good of ourselves, for the players and the staff, and of course the supporters.
So in effect, the role basically gives the head coach, as it is now, it was called the manager back in the day, but it's going to be the head coach, gives them less power in effect, is what you're saying.
I'm not sure about it, it's just a different role. I think, David's worked and played at the highest level. I just think you've got to know what your areas of responsibility are. You've got to know, your reporting lines, who you're responsible for, who you answer to. All of these these are key questions. These are really key questions, and as I say, I think the statement was very good. It answered a lot of those questions, but we've got to be comfortable that we can go forward as we think is the right route to take. But don't forget, it's Matthew's club. Enormous amount of investment. He's absolutely right to run the club the way he sees fit. Every respect for doing that, because it's, as I say, when you invest that much money and to continue to invest it, it gives supporters the security that their club is safe. But he wants to do it a certain way, and you have to respect that.
I think it's important to be public in regards to we supported it, we've used it, and we've used the mathematical model, and we understand the benefits of it. We're not saying that's wrong, but I think as it's evolved, it's just where the line is drawn, and where the veto is, and so it's it is evolving, and it's Matthew's club, as Mark says, and it always it should be, and we want it to be, because he's invested so much time, energy, money into it that I think that's great, and Brentford are lucky to have him. And it's just the way that the roles have evolved, and it's friendly, and I think you're better being honest. We're honest. Yeah. We sit in that office and not have arguments, but we discuss things. Yeah. But you always come to a conclusion, and that's how it should be. That's how you come to the best decisions, by being open and honest and telling the truth and giving your opinion. So
because it's like you said, the mathematical modelling. You've used it already. You've found players for it. I mean, I think Jota's probably found through them, on possibly Andre. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
No, we use it with it. Billy, you're dead right. We use it with the players. Yeah. We use the data that the Matthew and his company produce, and footballers being footballers, you use the data in the right way, and you show this is your ranking. This is how far you're behind or above, or this is how near you are to these guys, and this is what you have to do, and the points totals, and they buy into it. They buy into the numbers, because they look at Matthew and his business and they know he's been very successful. Anyone would. That it's worked. I'm foolish to ignore that. And as I said, we've embraced it and we've utilised it, no doubt about that, and enormous respect for that data.
Yeah, and also the sporting director role isn't actually even new either. So what I'm saying is that maybe the things that have been put into place have kind of been there, but I don't know if from the outside it looks like it's kind of not being more streamlined, but it's kind of just being put into place in a firmer fashion. I don't know. Am I being right?
I think if you look at Frank Parland, for example, who's been responsible for signing some of the best players, fantastic reputation. I think, as I say, it's a combination of traditional scouting methods, but a bigger emphasis on this modelling and stats or data, whatever you want to call it. And I think you've got to be comfortable with it. Frank has signed some world-class players. He's got to be comfortable with it. We've got to sit here and be honest, and as Dave said, we've got to be comfortable every day. I think any line of work, to look back in a year's time and go, I think you're just wrong. I think you're letting everyone down.
I also think that talking about that side of the game, it's just very. The fans are being educated to a new way of thinking, and the press are as well to a certain extent. And I think that's kind of exacerbated this confusion. It's like, you know, why would you threaten to break up possibly a great season by tackling this subject now? And I guess that, you know, the Tuesday morning story in the Times was, you know, it was, I guess that wasn't ever meant to come out there and then. So, but we've got to deal with that. And I think fans obviously now need to get round to thinking about that as the future, as that's how our club's going to be run.
Matthew's a genuine Brentford fan. He's a Brentford fan through and through. So the supporters know that the investment is there, and it's a genuine belief in the club, which is great, and it is getting your mind around it. And all of this has gone on the last week or so. Football fans being football fans. In a few days' time, it will be who's the new coach. You know, what's he going to be and what's he going to bring, and that's football. That's the beauty of the game. Everyone, you have a pint and you're talking about it, and that's it. You know, that's how the game works. So it's been negative, it's been challenging, it's been difficult for the last few days for everyone. But I'm sure very quickly, if we can get a couple of good performances in and wins under a belt, the most important thing is winning out there, winning the pitch, and suddenly fans buy into it. They'll be excited about next season and what players will come in and who the coach will bring in and what Matthew and the guys will find, and it'll be positive again.
There's a lot of gossip and rumours about what did or didn't happen in the transfer window. That's behind us. We're in the loan window now.
Yeah.
Are we going to see activity?
Possibly. The transfer window and the loan window, a lot of work was going on. Frank was working tirelessly, working closely with Matthew and the staff and the guys, and they were close on one or two targets. But if they've fallen through for whatever reason, you know, there was a reason why that fell through, and the squad's in good shape. Don't forget we are where we are. And also, this thing about refusing to sign players, and the fact of the matter is, I think you talked about coaching and managing a squad, whether you're called head coach, whether you're called head dishwasher or manager. Right now, last asset chart, we had 18 players. We had the likes of Judgy, we had the likes of Lewis McLeod, Tabar, Posh Fifths, not Tarkowski, Bidwell, not involved last week. If you add 4 or 5 to that as well, it's tough to keep that. From our side, it's tough to keep that happy, because you've got 8, 10 disgruntled people. You know, on Saturday when we play Bournemouth, touchwood, squad's in good shape, you're going to have 5, 6, 7 players who are not happy. Not happy. They train every day, they work hard, they want to play football. They want to play football. This is not a club. David and myself, Frank, Matthew, we wouldn't tolerate people who just here pick the wages up. So they're hungry to play football, and it's tough. You know, you work all week and it's like being a runner and going out running mile after mile, and there's no race to go into. It's, what do I do? So they're frustrated. It's getting the balance right, and I hope that's what we've looked at, is trying to get the balance right as well. But the window, we looked at some players. Lewis McLeod's a great acquisition for us. In the loan window, maybe 1 or 2, maybe. But again, they've got to be right and off the pitch, because the dressing room harmony, the unity is really good.
I think that's important as well, to acknowledge that Lewis McLeod and Jack O'Connell have come in as well. You know, there's 2 players that have come in as well, and nobody's gone out. You know, so there has been additions to the squad, so it's important we deal in facts, and it's not, as you say, rumour. And so the fact that these deals were done so quickly and so early, it almost gets forgotten about, because it's football being football. It's what's happened this week, what's happened tomorrow, rather than, you know, if Lewis McLeod's here at the start of January. Unfortunately, we've not seen him because of different reasons. You know, unfortunately he's been injured, but he's here and he's a talented player, and he would have been a great addition to us. So there has been work done, and it's, you know, football's continuous, and what's next, but there's also, and that's great, because we've got to improve, and we all want the same thing. We all want to be successful, we all want to win the Saturday, and we all want to get promoted. So there's no dubiety in that. We're all on the same page in regards to where we want to get to, but sometimes, you know, the process, you have a difference of opinion in regards to the best way of doing that, but that's life, you know. But I think good people with the same interest, I think that's, you know, there's always going to be a little bit of friction in regards to it. It's just a shame that it's, you know, it's become public and gone that way.
You must get it from the fans, obviously, the concern for the rest of the season. I mean, Laney said that before, and I know that you're saying that your heads are right in there to actually kind of perform. I mean, there's already fans that are sort of saying, you know, Blackburn on a Tuesday night, is it worth it? I was gonna take the day off work, but I'm not going to bother. You know, Sheffield Wednesday on a Tuesday night, I'm not even going to bother. It's kind of like that sort of slightly deflated feeling. And I think if anything, people just want to feel, you know, picked up, because even it's almost like, and I'm not saying this in all ways, that you guys, you know, there's something that's been going on for a couple of months anyway before all this came out, and you know, if this hadn't come out now, everyone will be jumping and they'll be all happy and everything will be fine and they'll be getting behind you and getting the team going. And unfortunately, because this has blown up and come into the, you know, people have found out about it, now we have to deal with this mess, but still be kind of enthusiastic about it. And I'm just, you see what I'm saying, Mark? And
can I say an honest answer?
Yeah.
If you looked at, if you're a fan and I'm passionate, you are fans, you look at the league table, and we're just outside the top 6 for the first time in 3 months, 4 months, is that right?
Yeah.
And with 1 point outside the top 6 at the start of the season, as you look at the league table now, what would you have said?
Yeah, well, listen,
so
you know,
all I'm saying is, and I want it to come across in the right way. I think it's really disrespectful, not of you, but comments about to the players, to think that they wouldn't give their all for the club, because whatever the situation now, they've worked hard to get where they are right now, and they want to be the best they can be. And they're pros now. You may be driven by money, by the want to play in the Premier League, by the whatever drives you. They're working guys. They're really top class pros, and they want to give everything. And I think every player, every member of staff has said the support we've received from the fans has been magnificent, absolutely magnificent. And in return, I think the fans would agree the players have given everything every game. Charlton was a bad game for us, but a lot happened. But every game the players have, you can never accuse a player of slacking or cover the pitch. So the blend is good, we've got fantastic support, the boys are performing. We're 1 point outside the top 6. We can go up if we get it down and really put it together. Are we going to give that up? Because people are saying, I can't be asked to go to Blackburn Rovers. Last year it was Crawley or Stevenage or, you know, not really sure those clubs. Now I can't be asked to go to Hillsborough and Ewood Park. Wow. You know, I think together, players, staff, supporters, everywhere we've gone this season, we've taken a good impression. The noise, the way we conduct ourselves on and off the pitch has been great. I think it'd be a real shame to not have that same intensity now. That's honest.
It's a 15-game season, and we're like 7 points off the top. I mean, these lads, as a group of players, have got a 15-game season to get to the Premier League. You know, when do you get opportunities like that? And that's been Mark's message, and that's been our message the whole time. They've gave themselves, you know, fans and us, and we're all sort of byproducts, so they've gave themselves a fantastic opportunity, and you can always find an excuse not to do things. But there's such a good excuse to, you know, to kick on and to grab this opportunity and make the most of it. And next year can be going to Old Trafford and the Emirates and Anfield and Goodison, and you know, how often do you get chances like that in your life? So that's the disappointing thing, as we said at the start, that it's almost become like, oh, it might not happen now, or it's, you know, I'm not sure if what's going to happen, but it's still there, you know, and sometimes to achieve things, you've got to overcome obstacles. So this is an obstacle, but what do? Do you give up, or do you have a go?
Saturday, Bournemouth. Let's talk football. They play wicked football. I mean, they play, you know, they play this wicked, expansive football. They're moving off the ball and stuff like that. Is this more our cup of tea rather than that Charlton business that happened last week?
How would you describe our football, Billy?
Our football, I think it's exciting. Where past the move, lots of movement, play through the midfield.
But not wicked.
Wicked, mate.
If it's wicked versus wicked, I think the first game at their stadium was a really good game of football.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good game of football for the neutral. You know, you nip and tuck. We left a little bit of self-belief, thought first half. Yeah. Then we went 1-0 down, probably against one to play at the time.
Yeah.
But I think we were so proud from 63 through to 95. I thought we were excellent. We looked at the clips time and time again. They made some unbelievable defensive blocks, tackles, things to stop us getting all three, let alone one. So that was a really good game of football. Gave us a lot of belief about going forward. Saturday we same again. You know, we look at their team. Okay, Arthur's suspended, but you got Wilson, you got Kermigan, you got Ritchie, you got Pugh. You know, we know what we're going to face. Elphick and Cook at the back, the full-backs, Boyett, the keeper. But they're sitting in Bournemouth going, and they've got him, and they've got Douglas, and they've got Tumani, and we know each other inside out. I think it'll be a really good game of football. Two teams who want to dominate possession, and I think it'll be a really close encounter, top quality encounter. And I touch wood, we've got enough. The boys are hungry and angry and focused to hopefully get the right result.
Do you wish we had Blackpool first up?
No, I'd rather have Bournemouth. Or I don't mean Blackpool's going to be a tough game. There's no easy games, but I personally, and David might disagree, I personally would rather have Bournemouth at home Saturday afternoon, packed Griffin Park. All this has gone on, and the boys have got a chance to go and show the supporters how much they care.
And obviously you do truly believe that we can beat anybody in this league, because that's what they always say, we can beat anybody in this league. But again, Bournemouth Saturday. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but it's almost like an easier game for us in a strange way than somebody like Charlton or even Blackpool. There, don't you think? There's no easy games for them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I don't think it matters who we're playing. I think in what Mark and I preach to the lads is what we do. We prepare properly for the opposition, give them respect, and we're lucky in regards to the analytics we've got here and the facilities we've got here in regards to preparing. But what makes us different is what we do and how well we do it. When we don't do it well and we don't impose what we do, another team will struggle, like Saturday. But when we play well, we've got a chance in any game. So who we play, when we play them, where we play them is almost irrelevant. I think
no disrespect to Blackpool in any way, because it'll be a tough team. But I think our guys now at the top of the table.
It was a tough game up there, wasn't it?
Yes, we're 7 points behind them. Was it 7 points behind? We beat them suddenly with 4 points behind Bournemouth, the team everyone sees as my favourites going up. Here we are, almost entering March, and we're 4 points behind. Wow. So we're right in the mix. The boys know there's no lack of desire or hunger for Saturday, but then, as I say, once it is out of the way, the focus has got to be Blackpool, because they're scrapping. They're scrapping for their lives, as Charlton won't. And that's another really important point we've got to highlight to the players.
I think it's important as well, that this group of players have tasted success last year. They got promoted last year, so they know what it's like. They enjoy it, they earned it, they worked hard to get it, and it's a good habit to have. And there were challenges last year for different things, so that's an advantage for them. That's an advantage that they know that they can be successful. Some of the other teams haven't done it for a while. That group of players have. Their core group have. That's really important.
And you contacted me after we did the podcast with Middlesbrough, which you'd listened to, and in that podcast, even though we lost to them, all the Borough fans were saying that we were the best team that they played by far, even better than Bournemouth, who were playing on Saturday as well. And also, you listened as well. There's not the Norwich fans had said that. I think the Forest fans have said that. So how does it make you feel when you actually hear the opposition fans, where they know what they're talking about, have actually gone around and said, listen, I'll tell you something, Brentford are the best team that we have seen play our team all season.
I think it's nice to hear. You also recognise that when you lose a game, it's easy for the other team to say, oh, what a great team. It's nice when you go to Norwich and you beat them, or Forest, etc. And those type, big venues, big clubs, big history, and I thought we were outstanding. Those 2 games, for example, we were outstanding. Cardiff in the first half an hour of that game, we were really very, very good. And that gives the players belief. They know they can get, as David said, they can go anywhere and get a result. There's no point. We've got to recognise that we've got to be, don't mean this disrespect, we've got to be at it every game. We can't afford to be 70% and cruise through a game. That's not how we play the game.
We seem to have taken these big stadiums, these big atmospheres in their stride. They don't walk out and look at the stadiums and go, oh wow, we don't deserve to be here. They obviously are well aware that they're on a level where they deserve to play, and they're confident they can carry on achieving.
I think they worked, all that work last year. I don't want to keep on about Doncaster, but Jake Bidwell and Harley and Dougie and Tums and all those guys came through, Stuart Dallas came through Doncaster. And they learnt from that. They worked hard to get where they are now. They've earned the right to play at Carrow Road and Cardiff and Fulham, but they've earned that right. But don't go there to make up numbers. If that's why we've done it, then don't bother getting promoted. Because that's not what David's about, I'm about, Frank, or any of the staff and players are about. So you're here to perform, go and see how good you can be. There's a sign in the change room talk about, no enter the pitch with no doubts, leave the pitch with no regrets. if you can leave a pitch after every game with no regrets, you're all right. You've done okay. We'll lose some games. Middlesbrough, I thought we played really well. I thought we created more chances than any other team against them, and we should have at least got a point. For the last second with the block on Dougie and the save, and we should have taken all 3 points against a very, very good quality team. So that happens. You don't mind that. That Saturday, look at the chart, get on it. That's different. That's different. But I think we've got a lot of belief, and as I say, go to these big grounds, perform, and these big games like Bournemouth, top of the table, just relish the challenge. Really embrace the challenge.
So your message is, after a mad couple of weeks, everyone brush themselves down, refocus and crack on.
Have you got anything to say to the fans out there, and just one message out for them?
I'm sure that my message is, one, we've always been thankful for the support. You know that, I've said it every single week, every interview. That's not a casual throwaway comment, that's a genuine thank you from everyone in the football department, because we know how much it costs to follow the team, and we appreciate that. But don't give up on them now. It's what's happened's happened. With David and I hope we're professional enough to do our job. We're not here just to go through the motion to May the 30th. That's not how we're made anyway. But our focus is the best we can be for 15 games. Ideal scenario, we win 15 out of 15. Sod's law, you can lose the next 3, you can win it. Who knows what happens in football, but the team will be prepared, the team are hungry, they're top pros, have a great character, and it's disrespectful for anyone to suggest they won't go and do their best for the show. That's all I say.
I agree. I think you know, the fans have been excellent up until now. The players have been excellent up until now, and there has been a challenge. But you know what you do with that challenge, you meet it or you give up. And I think that it's equally the same for both, for the staff, for us. We're exactly the same. You want to meet the challenge. You want to make what's been a great season so far. You want to make it in a special season. It was a great feeling last season to get promoted and finish on that high, and then obviously as soon as you achieve that, you want to achieve the next one, and we're right in the mix for achieving something really special. And I think for anybody to give up or lose their focus in regards to what's at stake, I think it's a real shame, and that's our job. We've got to refocus everyone and point out what's at stake and how everybody wins.
So you're saying basically we should rebook that double-decker bus, open-top double-decker bus, for the bank holiday weekend in May, is that right?
Absolutely right, Billy. We'd be negative to do otherwise.
Alright.
Come on, you bees.
Come on. Thanks very much for chatting to us. Mark Warburton, Dave Weir. This is the sort of interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Brentford FC, come on, you Brentford, come